What's up everyone? It's your boy LJ, and in this video I'm going to talk about my first power rack, the Rep Fitness PR-4000. So a few weeks back I made a video with regards to a half rack that I purchased off of Amazon, and by the end of the video I mentioned that I was going to be getting rid of it so that I can upgrade to a power rack. One of the things that I really like about the PR-4000 is the fact that you can customize it. Whether it's the uprights, the color scheme, as well as the cross-member depth, you also have the option to add weight storage. One of the things that I would mention is that adding weight storage is going to obviously add to the depth of your squat rack. So if you're trying to be conscientious of the space, it's definitely something to keep in mind when deciding to add the weight storage to the power rack. So another thing that you can change is also the color scheme. You can change the color scheme on the cross members, on the uprights, as well as the weight storage. So you don't have to necessarily just stick to all one color, which is pretty awesome. I ended up going with black, just the simple matte black. Was actually hoping to land the red or red orange, something like that. But one thing to keep in mind is the fact that these things sell out very quick, especially right now. So when this became available, I was still kind of back and forth on purchasing it just because it wasn't the color that I ultimately wanted. But it actually worked out. I mean, I enjoy the color as is. It's not that big of a deal to me. I mean, this is what you're used to in a commercial setting, so it is what it is. So the setup that I went with is the 24-inch cross members with the 80-inch uprights and the additional weight storage. A few other things that you can actually change on it as you're making the purchase are the J-cups. I left those just standard as is. And then the safety pins, I actually upgraded those to safety straps, mainly because I wanted to really protect the bar that I have, and I'm hoping that it'll last me a long time. I also bought band pegs for this because, as I mentioned in the last video, that one had band pegs already attached to the rack. So I ended up purchasing the band pegs. I also enjoy to do pull-ups. So when the option came to upgrade the standard pull-up bar on this power rack, I decided to go ahead and do it. And I ended up with the multi-grip bar, which is awesome because it just adds a bit more variation into your pull-ups. So definitely not a must-have, but it's awesome for me. I enjoy the hell out of it. As you can see, I also purchased the lat pull-down. Was it the leg? I don't know. What the heck is the thing called? Leg roller? It keeps you in place when you're doing lat pull-downs. The dip attachment, as well as the landmine down here. So you definitely have the option to add more accessories to it, which is something that I felt the first rack was lacking. Ultimately, what I wanted to accomplish was to turn my garage into a full-blown gym. And with this power rack, I feel like I pretty much accomplished that. If not, I am going to accomplish that. And so far, I've really enjoyed the ish out of it. I mean, it's far exceeded my expectations. One of the last things that I would add is that it's not bolted down. I don't know if you can see that in the video or not. I guess I'll find out later. But the rack is definitely very sturdy without having to bolt it down. Not saying that you shouldn't, but I mean, this sucker's heavy. I had trouble moving it after I put it together. Probably not the brightest thing to put it together on one side of the garage when I knew it was going to end up here the whole time. The additional weight storage does add to the stability, as does the lat pull down, because it comes with this rear base stabilizer thing that's down there to hold the lat machine in place. But it also does add to the sturdiness of the rack itself. One thing that I questioned as I was adding the lat attachment to the power rack was not the rear base stabilizer, but the foot attachment, the footing. So when you're doing rows on the ground, actually yes, the stabilizer as well. I was actually wondering if it was going to get in the way of my bench when I do bench press, and it definitely does not get in the way. There's plenty of room, and if anything, if you need to remove the foot thingy, you can remove it. So yeah, not a problem whatsoever. I know when you see some of the videos, like, you don't really think about it. But I mean, for me, as I was putting it together, it was just questions that kind of came into my head, so I figured I'd mention it. If you'd like to see a few more videos of the power rack being used, please feel free to check out my Instagram page. It's myboylj, just like the YouTube channel, myboylj. I post videos daily. Sometimes I'm using it. Most of the times I'm using it. Whether it's doing dips, rows, lat pull down, pull-ups, or using the landmine for shoulder press or whatnot. Obviously squats and bench. So yeah, go ahead and check it out after watching this video. Hopefully you found it somewhat informative, and you'll be able to use it when you're researching a power rack or the PR-4000 specifically. And thanks again for watching the video on my first power rack. There will be a few more videos coming out. Hopefully it won't take me as long, but the next one will be, I don't know what the next one's gonna be about. This is your boy LJ. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.